Hello and welcome. This is Mahmudul Hassan, the SAT Math tutor from my tutoring studio. In this video, we'll show how to sit for the PSAT 8 or 9th grade exam and how you should do it in a timed environment. Are you ready? Let's jump in. I'll also show you strategies on how to use calculator during the test exam. So this problem is saying which expression is equivalent to 8 plus d squared plus 3. So if you look at it, you can see that 8 and 3 are like terms, so you can add them. So 8 plus 3 is equal to 11. D squared plus 11 is the right answer. Boom, done. Okay, this problem says the length y of a white whale was 162 centimeters when it was born and increased an average of 4.8 centimeter per month for the first 12 months after it was born. Which equation best represents this situation where x is the number of months after the whale was born and y is the length in centimeter of the whale? So we can see that y is representing the length in centimeter of the whale. The initial length of the whale is 162 centimeters. So this kind of problem is basically coming from the concept of y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope or the rate of change and b is the y-intercept or the initial value. In this case, the initial value is 162 centimeters. So we can easily cut off option A and C because in those cases we don't have the y-intercept, so it could be either B or D. Now we also know that the rate of change is 4.8 centimeter per month, so our equation is y is equal to 4.8 x plus 162. The option is D. Perfect. Okay, let's look at this problem. Always read the problem carefully. The problem says if 5x is equal to 20, what is the value of 15x? So 5x is equal to 20. If you put it in Desmos, 5x equals 20. The point where it cuts the x-axis is the solution. So x is equal to 20. Sorry, the x is equal to 4. That means for 15x, we basically do 15 times 4. That is 60. The option is D. Perfect. Okay. The problem 4 says the graph shown models the number of candy bars or certain machine wraps with a label in X seconds. According to the graph, what is the estimated number of candy bars the machine wraps with the label per second? That means we need to find the slope because anytime we have to deal with something per second or something per something, the word per refers to division. In the concept of a linear line, the m refers to rate of change. That means we need to find the slope of this line. To find the slope of this line, we can pick 2 points. We see that the line is passing through origin, which is 0, 0. And we can also see the other point is 6, 240. So if we take 6, 240, we can use these 2 points to find the slope. So the slope is y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So 240 minus 0. So 240 is the y sub 2 and 0 is the y sub 1. We are dividing these by 6 minus 0. So our answer is 40. Perfect. Okay, let's look at this problem here. The problem says the area of a square is 64 square inches. What is the side length of this square? So in this case, we need to use the reference sheet. If you look at this reference sheet, let's see, we don't have the formula of square. So the area of the square is A equals S square. So in this case, A is equal to 64. So if we put that, the Desmos does not count any variable other than x. So we can put x here and we can see that x is equal to 8. That is our side of, that is the side length of this square. Perfect. Also, to understand this, we can take square root on both sides to solve for x. That is plus and minus 8. Since the side length cannot be negative, it should be positive answer. Okay, let's look at this problem. Connor has C dollars and Maria has M dollars. Connor has 4 times as many dollars as Maria, and together they have a total of $25. Which system of equations represents this situation? So in this case, we know that the total amount of dollars, the total amount is $25. So C dollars plus M dollars. So C dollars from Connor and M dollars from Maria would add up to give 25. And the second equation is Connor has 4 times as many dollars as Maria. So Connor has the word action verb, any action verb in a statement represents equal sign. So the word has is representing the equal sign 4 times as many dollars as Maria, that is M. So in this case, our equation is C is equal to 4M and C plus M is equal to 25. So the option is A. Perfect. Let's look at number 7. It says D is equal to 16t. The given equation represents the distance D in inches, where the t represents the number of seconds since an object is started moving. Which of the following is the best representation of 16 in this context? So again, this equation is referring to mx plus b, y is equal to mx plus b. In this case, we can see that b is equal to 0 because there is no y-intercept. So m is representing the 16. So we can write m to be rate of change, or we can also write this as y over x. So y is representing the distance and the x is representing the time. We can explain this 16 as distance over time. So the object is moving at a rate of 16 inches per second. That's the best representation of this equation, or that's the best interpretation of this equation. Perfect. Let's move on to this problem. The problem says the equation 46 is equal to 2a plus 2b gives the relationship between the side length a and b of a certain parallelogram. If a is equal to 9, what is the value of b? So we can directly put this in the calculator. So 46 is equal to 2a plus 2b. Now we know that the value of a is 9. We can just replace this with 9. And this calculator does not count the variable other than x. So we can just put it as x. And where the line crosses the x-intercept, that's the value of the variable. So what is the value of b? That's 14. Perfect. Now let's try to look at this problem. What is the mean of the data shown? So we have 5 data points, 2, 9, 14, 23, 32. So you can just add them up. 2 plus 9 plus 14 plus 23 plus 32 divide by 5. Or you can also simply do mean, open parentheses, copy these 5 data points and put it here. Okay, so you cannot actually copy and paste in this. Let's try again. You cannot copy and paste here. So you can actually put the data points here to solve for this problem. You can see that the mean is 16. So our answer is 16. Okay, here we have a system of equations. We have 2 linear equations given, and we need to find the solution to this system of equation. So we have y is equal to 4x minus 9 and y is equal to 19. What is the solution x comma y to this given system of equations? Now we can simply plug them in the calculator. So you can simply plug them in the calculator, and the intersecting point would be the solution here. So we have y is equal to 4x minus 9 and y is equal to 19. So you can see that the 2 points are intersecting right at 7, 19. That's our answer. Perfect. Okay, let's move on to this problem. Which expression is equivalent to 256 w square minus 676. Now this problem is basically an extension of a square minus b square, a popular algebraic formula. So this is a special uh, formula from algebra, and if you want to factor this, it's a plus b times a minus b. So basically you just take square root of a square and you take square root of b square to get a and b. In this case 256 w square, if you square root 256 we get 16. So it's not b or c, it should be a or d. And if we square root 676, it's 26. So option A has minus sign in the factor, but we need 1 plus and 1 minus. So the option is D. Okay, let's look at problem number 12. So here the problem statement says scientists recorded data about the ocean water levels at a certain location over a period of 6 hours. The graph shown models the data where y is equal to 0 represents sea level. So y is 0 right at the point O. Which table gives values of x and their corresponding values of y based on the model? So let's try to look at the data over here. So when x is 0, y is negative 12. That's incorrect because y is negative 12 right at 3. So option A is not correct. Let's look at option B. For B, we have 0, 0. That's right. We have 3, 12. So at 3, we have point negative 12. This is also incorrect because that's positive 12. Let's look at option C. So we have 0, 0. That's 0, 0 right here, the origin. And then we have 3, negative 12. So at x equals 3, we have y negative 12. That's right. And at 6, the y is also 0. So the correct option is C. Boom. Perfect. Now let's look at problem number 13. The problem statement says the function f is defined by f of x is equal to 6 plus the square root of 6. What is the value of 36? Perfect. We can use calculator for this. We have f of x is equal to 6 plus square root of x, and we just need to evaluate this function for 36. So if we put 36, okay, so basically f of 36 is plugging the function for x equals 36, and we get the value as 12. So the value of the function is 12. That's our answer. Okay, let's look at number 14. The function f of x is equal to 200,000 times 1.21 to the power of x gives a company's predicted annual revenue in dollars x years after the company started selling light bulbs online, where x is between 0 to 10 inclusive. What is the best interpretation of the statement f of 5 is approximately equal to 518,748 in this context? Okay, so let's try to define this over here. So the option A says 5 years after the company started selling light bulbs online, its predicted annual revenue is approximately $518,748. Option B says 5 years after the company started selling light bulbs online, its predicted annual revenue will have increased by a total of approximately $518,748. So f of x is giving the company's predicted annual revenue, and x years after the company started selling light bulbs online. So x is between 0 to 10. So when the option C says when the company's predicted annual revenue is approximately this $518,748, it is 5 times the predicted annual revenue for the previous year. That's not correct. When the company's predicted annual revenue is approximately $518,748, it is 5% greater than the predicted annual revenue for the previous year. So option C and D are not right because X is representing the years after the company started selling light bulbs online. So we need to check which one is referring to this option. So 5 years, option A and B are the correct one. So we need to check which one is actually the most accurate one. So 5 years after the option A says 5 years after the company started selling light bulbs online, which is X years after the company started selling light bulbs online, is matching. Its predicted annual revenue is, the company's predicted annual revenue is f of x function. So the option is A. It's not its predicted annual revenue will have increased by a total. That's not what the problem is mentioning. So remember, this f of x is defining its statement in the answer choice. And this x years is also defining its statement in the answer choice. So the correct option is A. Now let's look at problem number 15. In the given scatter plot, a line of best fit for the data is shown. Which of the following is closest to the slope of the line of this best fit? So we need to find the slope of this line, and we can easily see that this slope is downward trending. That means the slope would be negative. It's not going to be A or B. It could be either C or D. So let's try to find the slope. And to find the slope, we can pick up 2 points. Let's say we have 10, 1 and 0, 8. So let's pick up those points. 0, 8 and 10, 1. So if you find the slope, we have y2, which is 8 minus 1 over x2 is 0 minus 10. That is negative 0.7. Option is C. Okay, let's look at problem number 16. The given equation q minus 29r is equal to s relates the positive numbers q, r, and s. Which equation correctly expresses q in terms of r and s? So in this case, this is a concept of literal equation where you need to isolate a given variable from an equation. So we need to isolate q. So q minus 29r is equal to s. We need to move this 29r to the other side. So it would be q is equal to, we add 29r to both sides, 29r plus s. That's the correct option, and that is option number B. Perfect. Let's look at problem number 17. A distance of 112 furlongs is equivalent to how many feet? 1 furlong is equal to 222 yards, and 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. This is a concept of unit conversion. Let's try to see how we can do that over here. So 112 furlongs times, we are going from furlong to yard, so we keep furlong at the bottom and 222 years at the top, times 1 year at the bottom and 3 feet at the top. So the correct answer is 73,920 feet. That's our correct option, 73,920 feet. Perfect. Now let's look at problem number 18. A right triangle has legs with lengths of 28 centimeters and 20 centimeters. What is the length of this triangle's hypotenuse in centimeters? So in this case, we'll be applying the Pythagorean theorem. So the Pythagorean theorem says a square plus b square is equal to c square. So in this case, we are trying to find the hypotenuse. So we are trying to find c. So it would be 20 square plus 28 square, which is 1,184. We take the square root of that. So square root of that is 1,184, which is 34.4. Now in this case, all of the answers are in radical forms or whole numbers. So option C is not right. Option D is also incorrect. It could be either A or D. So let's try to plug in option A, 8 root 6. That's not right. So it would be obviously option B, which is 4 square root 74. That is the correct answer. Perfect. Now you can see how we are actually using the Desmos to get the answers quickly and effectively. Let's look at problem number 19. J of x is equal to mx plus 144. For the linear function j, m is a constant and j of 12 is 18. What is the value of j of 10? So in this case, we need to solve for m first. And to do that, we can basically use the given point, which is j of 12 is equal to 18. So that means if we plug x for 12, we'll get j of x as 18. So j of x is equal to mx plus 144. Now j of x is equal to 18, which is equal to m times 12 plus 144. Now in this case, I'll just put x to solve for the variable. Remember, this is m originally, but we are just trying to solve for this variable. So m is basically negative 10.5. That's our m. Now we can try to find j of 10. So now the original function j of x is equal to negative 10.5 x plus 144. That's the function. If we want to find j of 10, we basically evaluate this for 10. So negative 10.5 times 10 plus 144, the correct answer is 39. That's our answer. Perfect. Okay, let's look at this problem. What is this? We have x squared minus 40x minus 10 is equal to 0. What is the sum of the solutions to the given equations? Pretty easy, pretty perfect. We can just do x squared minus 40x minus 10. We can see that we are getting these two answers. So if we add them, if we add these two solutions, negative 0.24846 plus 40.24846. That's how you can get the answer. The correct answer is D. Or we can also do negative B over A. That's the formula for finding the sum of the solutions for any quadratic equation. So in this case, we have B is equal to negative 40, and negative times negative 40 is positive 40 over 1. The coefficient of x squared is 1. So it's negative times negative 40 over 1, which is 40. That's how we can do this. Okay, let's look at this problem here. We have if 3x squared minus 18x minus 15 is equal to 0, what is the value of x squared minus 6x? A little bit complex ones. Let's see. So what we can do over here, we know that 3x squared minus 18x minus 15 is equal to 0. We can move the 15 to the right side. We get 3x squared minus 18x is equal to 15. Now we can factor out 3 from 3x squared minus 18x. So we have x squared minus 6x is equal to 15. We divide both sides by 3. We get x squared minus 6x is equal to 5. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. So the correct answer is 5. Perfect. And that's the end of the first module of this PSAT 8/9 exam. I hope you enjoyed this. Apply the tricks, and I'll see you on the next one.